Hello everyone, it is Saturday, July 4th. It is America's birthday, and earlier this week we had Canada's birthday. And this is your Saturday episode of Radio Tokyo. This is our 2-month episode. I can't believe it. Anyway, this week with me we have Danny, of course, and Nick, and a very special guest, Lexi. Hi everybody, how are you?
I'm good.
I can't show up that.
I'm doing good. Tim Duncan is coming back. Yay, sports.
No one cares about you, Nick.
What?
Yay, sports.
What?
I said
What the hell is
sports.
sports?
It's a thing that people watch sometimes.
What?
It's a thing people watch on their television screens.
I'm too busy watching entertaining shit for that.
Yeah. Anyways. Lexi, how are you doing? Why are you here? Other than being awesome.
Well, I'm here because of this week's topic. I happen to have a little bit of background in it.
Ooh. So it's
Would
that.
you like to introduce the topic, or do you want me to do it? Because, I mean, it's the whole reason.
I was caught off guard by the fact that Nick's the one bringing it up. Usually Jonathan jumps all over topic taking.
I thought I would steal the show, so it's part of my plan.
He's trying.
Gross.
He's actually been trying the past couple weeks to get me to, not even be on here because he wants to control everything.
I want to be the star.
Nick, you can't be the star.
Because I already am?
No, because I am.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
It's long since been established that Danny is the star of the show.
Yes. But now we have a new star, because we have Lexi. And Lexi is awesome.
It's true, she is. Anyway, Lexi is here this week since Nick will introduce the topic. We're here to discuss cosplay and conventions and fun stuff. So, Lexi, would you, since you're the guest, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Well, God, I have all these notes ready, and I haven't given a dissertation since university, so let's try this. What in particular I've come on here for, particularly because it's coming close to San Diego Comic-Con, and last year there was a big kerfluffle about booth babes and questionable cosplay, and about how basically it's become a very sexualized art, and how they were trying to hedge down the problems with sexual assault and harassment and whatnot at the conventions by trying to stem the problem backwards. They were trying to stop the cosplayers and cos performers from being sexualized, as opposed to telling the convention goers to smarten up.
Usually I think most people, whenever they hear the term cosplay, other than, giggling insanely at adults dressed up as cartoon characters or video game characters, I think most people think of Jessica Negri dressed up as sexy Pikachu. And if you look on any cosplay forum, anyone on Facebook or anywhere else on the internet, any pictures of cosplayers, that's always in there. It's always her dressed up like a sexy Pikachu. And I think that's what a lot of people think of. And I know from people who have actually been to ASDCC, a lot of adult stuff happens. And it's weird, but Anyway, I'll let you get back to your point because it, it, that's just a reaction I think most people have when they think of it.
Well, and that's true. Cosplay has become very much an empowering movement for women and men. You'll see a lot of sexy male cosplay if you look for it. One of my particular favorites is such as the Black Butler anime drag cabaret, which I'll be touching on later, but mostly you'll see, well, copious amounts of Deadpools and whatnot, but you'll occasionally see some other very, very interesting characters, like Lonister Mash. He does a fantastic Logan, or Wolverine. So it's not completely a female-oriented group, but yeah, it's very sexualized, and a lot of girls do that for, well, particularly, they do it for empowerment, and it's all the power to them for that.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of guys from conventions and who are basically just trying to show off their muscles or, you know, look a certain kind of way. So I would definitely say it's not just women, even though we see mostly women in pictures and things. But yeah.
Well, I think that's just because it's more popular to see uh, female characters like brought to life, because a lot of animes that are out now, they're centered around like a very pretty girl or a girl with a lot of power. And I mean, I went to an anime convention a couple of years ago and everyone was dressed up, girl, guy, what have you. Everyone was in costume. And it wasn't all like, oh wow, look at me, I'm so sexy. It was more like, hey, look at me, like representing something that I really enjoy, or like bringing to life a character that I really, really love. And I ran into people who were like, hey, let me take a picture with you. And like, we'd role play for a couple of minutes and then we'd go on about our days. But it was more about like enjoying the convention and the people and not like being super sexy, even though there were some very sexy people.
Which is what it should be about.
And I mean, I never felt like there were people like encroaching on me or the people around me. I mean, I wasn't wearing a particularly suggestive outfit, so I wasn't getting hit on or anything, but the people that I did see, I didn't really see anybody acting like, inappropriate or, you know, being rude to the people who were dressed up opposed to the people who weren't. It was a really good experience all around.
I think it largely depends on what convention you're at, and I would say local conventions are probably going to handle this generally better. I'm sure there are exceptions than large conventions with lots of people, where it's more of a kind of media thing than a big media show than actual people who love the convention for what it is, or love the cosplay, or love things like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like you have like Comic-Con and like San Diego Con and all those really big places. I went to one Anime Next in New Jersey, and that hosts maybe 1,000 people or more, and it's just really small, but like there's so much to do, and everyone just acts very professional around everybody, and it was very fun. I can't imagine going to a really big convention because I could imagine that could get problematic with, because I mean I've seen videos where there's like the the Comic-Con creeper who like creeps on the women who's doing interviews with, and I could imagine that would be uncomfortable, but I never ran into anything like that on like the smaller scale.
I think one of the reasons that, again, this is people I know who've been and listening to people, like talk about it. It seems to be a really big issue at San Diego Comic Con because one, it's the biggest one, and two, there is such limited floor space. You have to wait in line, and most people seem, for some reason, to either go early in the morning or they go really late in the evening if they're going to be out walking the floor. So that gives X amount of time, to be around and do other things. But that goes back to what I said about a lot of people seem to go to events like that just for the sexy fun times. And that's bled over, sadly, into how most people look at cosplay. Take, for example, Yaya Han. Every time she is on any program, every time she's on there, someone always comments, "Oh my God, she's fucking hot!" Every time. Every time. Like they turn, her making a costume to look like something she enjoys into her just being sexualized. And that's, I mean, it seems strange to me to do that when that's not the whole purpose of it.
Well, I mean, that's just kind of how our society is. They take anything they can and they sexualize it, especially when there's women in scantily clad outfits or appropriately, but still kind of slutty outfits. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what we do as a society, no matter what the platform is.
That's with any cosplay, male or female. I mean, you can take a perfectly innocent concept for cosplay, even with a male cosplayer. Let's go with the... it's very popular, you'll see it all over right now. The Magikarp. The extremely sexy Magikarp.
I've seen
Or
that.
the extremely sexy Doug Trio. Both Pokemon, which are animals. They're monsters. They're not even human, but somebody gives them a human anthropomorphic form and puts themselves in a banana hammock and paints themselves the appropriate color. And there you have it. Extremely sexualized cosplay. It's like the reversal of things too with the crossplay and the goofing around. Cosplayer goes by Zeke. He does a fantastic Misty cosplay. He doesn't shave or nothing for it, and he's a very big fellow. He is extremely muscular. He kind of looks like a slightly smaller version of the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Yet he's in a midriff yellow shirt, suspenders, and cut-off shorts.
I think I've seen that.
You probably have. He's pretty popular that way. But it's anything can become sexy. Anything has the capacity for it, and it's that internet. One of the rules of the internet is if it exists, somebody has a fetish of it.
Yeah, there's definitely people with a fetish for cosplay.
There's
Which is
people who have a fetish for everything.
pretty much.
Not that I have
Yeah.
first-hand
That's
experience
the
looking into this, but I have noticed there's a lot of stuff out there. See, I spend a lot of time online, and there's shit that I've seen I kind of wish I hadn't seen.
Sure, that you keep telling yourself that, John.
I
I
have
really
to.
wanted to see it, but
We
there's
we
nothing
all
on the internet that John has seen that he hasn't wanted to.
we all know you were looking for it. It's okay. We're not judging.
No,
Well, Nick's not judging, I'm judging.
Okay,
Me
Danny's
too.
judging. Okay, Lexi's judging. Okay, I'll judge too. Peer pressure. God damn it.
okay. How about I judge Danny, Danny judges me, you judge Lexi, Lexi judges me, and then we all judge you.
What the hell are you judging me for?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's no basis to judge either me or Danny.
See, now you're just
So
upsetting
we're
people.
all gonna judge Nick.
See, is it because I cosplayed a couple of times, or is it because I'm a white girl, or is it because I'm bisexual? Come on. What is it, bro?
Is it because I'm a clown?
Are you gonna judge her because she's a clown? What the hell's wrong with you, dude?
You're being messed up, John. You're being messed up.
But that's what the internet is. Like, I think with just that little exchange, we just clarified the problem on the internet.
Now all we have to do is find the vegan.
Evil.
I don't think any of us are vegan.
That would have been
Unless
really
it's Danny.
funny.
I know Nick.
No.
I
Not
like
me.
meat.
I drink a lot of milk, even though
Okay,
I'm lactose intolerant.
Yay, good life choices.
Excellent
Wait.
life choices.
Yay, bacon.
We would also need, no, never mind. Not gonna get into the racial stereotypes. That would be a whole other conversation to have, or the religious stereotypes either. Let's
And
just
if-
stick on the happy aspects
Oh,
of the
what? You gonna judge me because I'm Wiccan now? What the hell's wrong with you, John?
Jonathan.
No.
John,
What?
what we told you.
We need better friends.
We do.
You told me lots of things.
We told you not to bring up religion around Danny because we all know you don't approve of her being Wiccan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only because
Dude,
I'm on
I'm
the
cool.
internet, and it's a rule somewhere. You can't approve of people on the internet for everything.
Yes. But yeah, but back on topic. So, I mean,
I love you, Danny.
Bite me.
that was awkward. Anyways.
I love you, Lexi.
I know. Boom! Soloed!
I'll think about it next.
Anyways, so, Yaya Han's, like, she's a really interesting person to me, because, I really do, think she's a great model for a lot of the characters. And I like a lot of her work. But, I don't know, I guess I just think it's a little, awkward that she, modified her body specifically to try to look more like the character she's portraying or something.
I don't think so. As a professional, she has getting those modifications, and I know exactly which two you're talking about. That's actually a business write-off.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Just an agree. Her, there's a couple other cosplayers who have all gotten implants, and frankly, as a performer, I will tell you, boobs help everything.
It's an ass will get you further than your personality will 100% of the time.
yeah, it's true.
Well,
It
that's
doesn't hurt things, especially when you're on stage. It doesn't hurt anything to have a really defined curve.
I'm not.
It's like a lot of mathematical equations.
I mean, as a performer, that's your job. You need to be noticed, and you need to have like aspects about you that are enjoyable to view. And the more enjoyable you are to look at, the better chance you have of staying in your professional setting.
I'm not saying it's necessarily their fault. I'm just saying that I guess that's a kind of a sad reflection on society that they would need to do that in the first place, maybe.
Well, it's sad, yes, but I mean, sometimes with implants in particular, it has nothing to do with the cosplay. It has nothing to do with the performance. Some girls just would rather have that figure. That is their own personal choice, and it just happens to overlap and work with their career path.
That's true.
I know enough women who are just, office folk. They do. Well, I know one lawyer. She got implants, and that's just because she really likes the look of having a fuller bust.
I could understand that.
What I like about Yaya Han is, despite her being super sexualized by her audience, she is still capable of being extremely successful, not only in just cosplay, but the art form of cosplay. She has a whole series, a whole line of sewing patterns. Yaya Han is working, I believe, through Simplicity sewing patterns, and she designs cosplay patterns specifically for cosplayers to work with certain templates, and it is absolutely astounding that she has far surpassed her, well, let's say humble beginnings as a booth babe.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Many cosplayers, Jessica Negri does. She makes like Warbler weapons and whatnot in her off time when she has a chance for fellow cosplayers, obviously at a cost. I know some other ones who do beadwork, stitching work for things like Jessica Rabbit costumes where it has to be fully sequined. I know of a lot of cosplayers who go that extra mile and actually make their name in things like, I cannot think of which one it is off the top of my head, but there's one that actually has published a book on electrical engineering for cosplayers, being able to rig lights and sound-activated props. It's pretty astounding how varietous cosplayers can be.
You must show me this book later. I want to read that.
I will have to look it up for you.
And no, seriously, that's not a sponsorship. I want to read that. That sounds cool.
I've seen several guides on YouTube because Danny, Nick, and Lexi all know this, but I have a dream to one day have a scarecrow costume where I can have needle injectors on my fingers that will actually the needles will retract, and I've got a mask I'm working on, and I've been looking up all kinds of stuff to make it better. And YouTube, by the way, for those of you who are wanting to get into cosplay, go there. You'll find guides for everything. But I've noticed there are people who have come up with some ingenious damn solutions to making all kinds of things. I actually watched a guy the other day on making like a just a basic domino mask out of a piece of craft foam, and all they had was a pencil and a hairdryer and an X-Acto knife, and they made a mask that actually was form fitted to their face.
Huh.
It's really cool.
See,
And it's nice that the community can, like, really, even though we're not close to each other, we can really come together and help each other out with different things. Like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Maybe I can go on YouTube and figure out if somebody else knows how to do that. And you can follow their, their step-by-steps. Or you could go on, like if they have like an Etsy store or something, you can go on there and buy their sewing patterns. This way you help them out and you help yourself out. It's a really good community to be in, even though people on the outside are like, oh, well, you guys are just doing this for attention. You're doing this to sexualize yourself or your gender. People outside really don't understand it, and I don't think they want to.
so I have a question for Lexi and Danny.
Okay.
So, when I was looking at some cosplayers, right? And well, a lot of the famous ones obviously have that typical kind of idealized full figure for women, or a very muscular figure for men. And my question is, do you feel that there's a difference between, say, someone like Yaya Han and maybe Ivy Doom Kitty, who, I mean, her costumes are clearly, she has a very full figure, beautiful woman, but I'm not sure that I would say they're as sexualized as Yaya Han's are. Do you see a difference in that?
Danny, want to start, or should I?
You start.
Okay, well, Ivy, what I've seen of her and what I've discussed with her in very short form is she doesn't go out of her way to over-sexualize the characters, but she also does take the opportunity to pick characters that suit her. She's got Jessica Rabbit. She's got some crossplays like Doctor Doom and whatnot that are very complementary to her form. She has some that she chose specifically to try her hand at sexy cosplay, overtly sexy cosplay, like her Red Sonja, which frankly, for her form, is very gratuitous. But I mean, she's also got her black cat. Yes, how could I forget that? Her black cat is extremely evocative, but she's got cosplays where they are not sexualized at all, like her Kuzco cosplay from the Emperor's New Clothes, Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was wondering, because I'm not. I mean, I haven't looked through all of Yaya Han's work, but I'm not sure that I've seen her necessarily showing off a non-sexy kind of costume.
Well, some girls who are cosplayers, that's kind of their brand. Their brand is using their body as kind of the template. They have the body and the curves to pull off these very sexual cosplays, but I don't think they're doing it to sexualize themselves. I think they're doing it to make the character more cutesy and like make people more drawn to what they're doing because, oh look, you have all of this attention drawn to me because you can see my body, but now you can also see like this is this character, this is what it's from, and this is all the work that I put into it. And not a lot of cosplayers have perfect bodies. And I've seen on Tumblr a lot of the times people making posts, oh, I don't know if I should cosplay this because I'm not skinny, or I'm the wrong skin color, or my hair is wrong, or my eyes are the wrong color. And it's like, you don't have to, there is no specific template to cosplay. If you want to cosplay something, do it. There's no guidelines, there's no requirements. You don't have to be as skinny as Jessica Negri, or you don't have to have the big boobs or like the small waist. You can do anything you want to. It's about enjoying what you're doing and putting your effort into it.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting aspect for me because I'm in a wheelchair and I don't have necessarily the body to play many of the male characters that I would probably want to or try to attempt to cosplay as.
But see, there would be no problem. You could, put some cardboard around your wheelchair and paint it and make it look fit to the costume. Having a disability or looking different does not stop you from cosplaying. It gives you more options. You can go further and embrace more and like bring every part of you into your cosplay.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's really cool and really fun.
And the community is always really accepting about it. Like, if you ask people for help, they'll help you, and like, people are always very nice and just they're open about stuff. Especially if you're asking, oh, well, should I do this or do that? And people will be like, yeah, fine, whatever. And no one's ever gonna say, oh, well, you shouldn't do that because you're in a wheelchair or you're black and the character's white. Like, those people aren't real cosplayers.
Yeah, and they should be punched.
You'll also know there's cosplayers out there that have disabilities. What's her name? Misa on Wheels is her Facebook tag.
Oh,
she's got fantastic cosplays that she does wheelchair bound. I've seen people do fantastic wheelchair cosplays and work around the issue. Like I saw somebody with a Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly, and they made a form around their wheelchair that was Serenity. It was beautiful.
I really want to do that.
See, it's funny that you brought that up because I was actually looking at pictures of cosplay just like I'm on my phone, and that was something I found was people who are in wheelchairs, and there is some amazing costumes. I just passed one. Where'd it go? A couple of these are people who actually took purposeful advantage of their disabilities. and made them not really a disability but a capability. Someone dressed up as the Black Knight from Monty Python.
Yeah, I've
I love that
I've seen
one.
that.
Yes, it's
Um,
it's amazing. Like they took full advantage of themselves. A couple people dressed up as Joffrey sitting on the Iron Throne. There's someone riding a dragon, a Mario Kart racer, just all kinds of like it's people who've gone out of their way to make something out of what they're told that they can't do, and that's amazing. I'm looking at this one right now. It's a young lady supposed to be Oracle. You know, just a character who's actually in a wheelchair. You know,
that's
and
that
did a
one's
fantastic
actually.
job.
Um, yeah. Well, I mean, people have always, even outside of proper cosplay, I have some performer friends who also run haunts in eastern the U.S. And they actually hired a fellow with no legs to play a dismembered clown, and this is the guy actually presented the idea to them. Or there was one performer who had a fake leg, and he dressed up as a clown, but all he didn't do anything scary. He didn't run at the audience like like most others do. He just stood there, and then on his because he was missing from the knee down, he just pivoted on his leg and his foot stayed in place.
Oh, that's so
And
great.
it's a fantastic utilization of you know a bodily difference. There are what is it, the remake of Dawn of the Dead, 2005, I believe, the Dawn of the Dead remake. There's one zombie in there that is climbing through the rafters and drops down. He has no legs. They actually went out of their way and employed a fellow who had no legs. George A. Romero is actually a really strong proponent of hiring people who are missing these pieces already.
That is pretty cool. I think one of the coolest things I ever saw, I think it was at a BlizzCon one time, and someone did the full paladin, the mount. They modeled the wheelchair into the paladin mount, and it just
Oh,
looked amazing. It's definitely, I think cosplay is definitely one of the most creative and inventive art forms that we have. So it's really cool, and I really hope it keeps growing.
I can't see it doing anything but growing because of the resounding positive nature of the community. Overall, there is a negative, toxic portion to the community. The quote unquote fans who have issues with people, or the individuals who end up perpetuating bad stereotypes. I've come across cosplayers, female cosplayers even, who have given some seriously bad vibes to the community by going, oh, well, you really can't cosplay that. And ultimately, it comes down to why the hell not?
I think I think every community has its kind of negative influences, bad side to it. I I just hope people don't get too caught up in that, because we tend to overanalyze the negative and overlook the positive. Everyone is so quiet.
I was just looking at my next topic point I was going to bring up, which is something that's been coming up and around across both comic and anime conventions as well as video game conventions. The ban on sexy cosplay. And this is something that has always bothered me because it is um, not even a band-aid kind of solution to an injury. It's like walking off a broken leg. because
Well,
they're choosing to ban sexy cosplay, and it's not the it's not the cosplayers who are portraying these characters that is a problem. It's
I do
the people who do the sexual harassment, or even in some cases sexual assault.
I do have a question though.
Oh,
So, would you say at a comic convention, any of the comic conventions you've been to, um, are there generally a lot of people under the age of 18?
depends on the convention, but yeah. Of course, there's also particular sections of most conventions and whatnot, or whole conventions themselves, like Dragon Con, where you have to be over the age of 18 or 21 in order to participate.
So, my question to you is, would you consider these costumes perhaps inappropriate in a setting where children could see them and view them and maybe not fully understand them?
Okay, I'm gonna bring up a particular instance. I don't actually know how to link things in this thing for everyone to look at it, but last year there was, at the PAX convention last year, the Penny Arcade Expo, they were trying to actually kick out Jess and Agree
Oh yeah,
because
wasn't
of
she
her
wearing... Yeah, the
lollipop
lollipop.
chainsaw costume.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was also, well, it was that costume she had no problem with. I believe it was the Friday. The Saturday, she went to show up and go in a different costume. I can't remember what the character is, but it is this latex cat suit that comes down to like well below her navel, this open riff. And yeah, that's questionable, but when it comes down to it, have you guys ever seen Paul Stanley from Kiss?
Yep.
He's got an open jumpsuit. And it comes down pretty darn low, and some very strategically placed rhinestones in the lower section. But do you think people would bat an eye at a Paul Stanley cosplayer? No.
No, they're taking the opportunity to be like, oh, hey, you're being way too sexual. But, if a man walks in and he's in a Cupid outfit and he's just got the diaper and the 9 yards, no one's going to say anything because, wow, it's a man. That's totally acceptable for a man to be half naked. But God forbid a woman take her clothes off and have the necessities covered, but, show her navel and her knees and her shoulder blades.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there's a double standard. Um, hmm. I guess my only question would be then, if they applied the same rules to men as they did to women, would you still think that would be appropriate wear to a convention where children could see them? Not like Dragon Con or something where
Well, I
it's
mean, the thing
clearly
is that
all
most of
adult.
these conventions are more aimed towards adults, and there are a lot of conventions where you have to be a certain age to get in, because, I mean, there are a lot of conventions where there's drinking involved, so, they don't want kids in that environment in the first place. I mean, these conventions, I think, are more aimed at adults, just because of the content of the things that they're cosplaying and the content of things that they're selling. I mean, there are things that are aimed at children, um, and it would be inappropriate at a convention that is more aimed towards a younger audience. But I think a lot of the anime conventions, and especially a lot of the bigger cons, they're more aimed towards, adolescents and young adults and adults, because that's just the bigger audience.
Well, I think that's an interesting impasse for conventions, because a lot of their products, the shows they're representing, the things they're doing, many people would still view that as connected to either children's or teenagers' television shows or things of that nature. And the conventions are clearly marketed towards adults. Um, and I just find that one of the interesting impasses where I guess that's where people think that it should be censored or something like that because these pictures show up and then kids see them and then they associate that with the show. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything, but I'm just trying to think from a perspective of why maybe they might think that this would be a negative thing.
Well, I mean, think
But are
about
most
like
of
things like My Little
these?
Pony. Like a lot of the marketing is aimed towards little girls, but I mean, when you really think about it, the big fan base of My Little Pony is adults. So I mean, they don't want stuff that's targeted, that's supposed to be an audience for children, to be sexualized and all these different things because it is for little girls. But then the main audience is older gentlemen. So it
I'm a
kind
fan
of
of it.
depends. I'm a fan of it too.
I
It's
have not watched it.
the show actually had its 100th episode, I think, 2 weeks ago, and there were references thrown in there that adults would get. It wasn't for it wasn't for the kids. It was still. Well, I mean, it's not.
Well,
It,
I mean, have you rewatched some of the cartoons from our childhood, like stuff like Rocko's Modern Life and stuff like that? There are adult references in there that you would not get as a child, and the older you get, you totally get them, and you're like, how the hell did that get on TV?
Yeah, we
I
talked
mean,
about that a long time ago. The various adult references in cartoons.
it wasn't like Twilight Sparkle has found the dildo. No, it wasn't anything like that. It was just little in jokes, um, and references to stuff that older people would get. There was a, Doctor Who's showed up, and he referenced, oh my God, Tennant, Eccleston, and at least two other doctors, including Tom Baker. Like the final reference was Tom Baker. No. I'm sorry. The final reference was Tennant. Before that was Baker because he showed up at a hashtag spoiler alert wedding uh, wearing a rainbow colored scarf, and then when he went inside, he goes Alonzi, and it was hilarious. But they had a reference to the Big Lebowski in there. Like they had the Lebowski pony show up, and they had a couple other characters from there show up. It was just stuff that little kids aren't going to get, but people who are around our age range are going to look at that and go, "Wow, I get that." And My Little Pony has been really, really good about doing that. They have not um, done much in the way of telling the older fans, hey, this is not for you. Instead, they have embraced it and specifically added stuff in there for the older fans too. And I think that's it's a really good example of what um, you know a, a a show or a group should be able to do. But just to move this back to cosplay topic, there was a picture. I don't remember where it was at. I'm sorry, but it was a woman wearing not much more than a thong and like a black and purple outfit. I mean, nice long legs, nice ass, holding a baby's hand, and the little baby had a costume on and had wings. And there was a big to do about it because this was inappropriate because she's there with a child and she's showing off her ass. We just can't believe that. And then there was a comment on the picture that said that no one has the right to judge that mom because she's the mom. She's there with her child. Her child can see her mom and understand there's nothing to be ashamed of in my mom. My mom is embracing something she likes, and she's doing something with me that we both enjoy. And that's kind of a message I think more people need to understand about a lot of groups. Whether you play video games or you like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever little group of society you belong in, you're embracing who you are, and that's fantastic. And that even goes back to the young lady that Lexi mentioned earlier that cosplays in a wheelchair. She's doing what she enjoys.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the point I was trying to get at is that a lot of our trepidation, sensitivity to women revealing more skin in their cosplays is probably just I don't know. I guess it's sort of they're trying to base it around you want to protect the children, but I'm not sure that they're protecting them from anything that's necessarily bad in the first place.
Ultimately, you look at the comics that they're portraying. People are dressing up as Power Girl, as Harley Quinn, as Supergirl or Catwoman. Are these over-sexualizations of these characters? Not any more than the comic books have already sexualized them.
Also, you
I
missed the
mean,
perfect.
Wonder Woman's...
I'm sorry, but you guys missed the perfect opportunity to talk about the best cosplay I've ever seen, which was one guy in just pink clothes and a unicorn head or a helmet, where he had a unicorn horn on, and yeah, that was. I'm completely straight, but that was by far the sexiest cosplay I've ever seen.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We all know what Nick likes to look at on the internet now.
So that's why it took Nick so long to get into the call.
Indeed.
No.
He was eating a sandwich.
I was. It was peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, wow.
Peanut butter and stud.
Peanut butter is stud. Jelly is KY.
Now
Well,
I'm just
that just
disturbed.
made Nick's sandwich frightening.
Yeah. No.
Disturbing now.
Bad, Lexi. Bad.
No,
Oh,
it's
Lord.
like some of the sexualized cosplays I saw back in the day. Back, I think it was 2002, I was at Calgary Comic Con, and there was a guy who did this sexualized um, cosplay of an old cartoon, Dudley Do-Right. Appropriately, he was Studley Do-Right, but I mean, made me feel all patriotic, I'll tell you.
Oh, Lord.
But see, like, an issue I have is you mentioned why can I not say her name and not stammer? Jessica Legree being
Because you like her.
Huh?
You wanna do.
Yes.
You wanna do. I will admit, I will be the first person to jump on her train. God, that girl's hot.
That's not
quite
what I'm
attractive.
getting at. But now I've pretty much completely forgotten what I was saying. Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome.
It was going to be something about her bubblegum costume thingy, chainsaw, whatever it was. What I don't get is why would she be kicked out of a convention with that's her character? That was her. She modeled for that for the game. That's her you look at in the game. So why would you
Because
get
people
angry?
get really butthurt about it. They're like, oh, wow, you're just being a slut. You're over-sexualized. Why are you doing this?
Lexi.
Well,
Look at what
I saw what you sent me.
See?
Anna Probes, homie. Yes, it is. It is the sexiest cosplay. I've seen this one. Yep, that is definitely a good distraction. Thank you, Nick, for derailing the conversation to show me a half-naked man horse.
You're welcome.
And see, this is why we both, this is what now we know what everyone looks at on the internet.
I'm going to show
I
it
make
to all
no. Yes, please. I make no suggestions of illusions of anything but what I do look at on the internet. I mean, pretty much every search engine you'll find on my laptop has the search of clown girl. Because, well, first off, I like finding images of myself in strange places, but B, well...
Oh, this guy! Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I told you.
I had
Nick,
him as my profile
Nick,
picture for a while.
Nick,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a discussion about things that you send me.
Right.
Oh, man. This stuff looks real tight on you, buddy. I'm gonna stop looking at this. I'm sorry.
See,
Lexi, go ahead. Keep
the
talking.
girls aren't complaining. The girls aren't complaining.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
it is a good costume. I'll give him that. But no, please don't send me that picture. I'll find it on my own. I'm sure.
soon enough. Now that it's in your head now.
Probably, yeah. I'm not gonna name the group, but there is a Facebook page that I came across that someone I know likes. I don't know how it's on there. I really don't. And like looking at it, it's like it actually fits into what we're talking about because it's cartoon
Don't you
characters.
judge me.
I'm not judging you. No, it's
Oh, really?
cartoon characters. Not just characters from My Little Pony, but basically any cartoon you name, and they have turned it into the strangest Rule 34 I have ever. Like it's picture after picture after picture after picture devoted to it, and I
So,
think part
Tumblr.
of what yes, it's on Tumblr, but I think part of what helps give cosplayers and people who like things that are quote unquote not supposed to be for them is stuff like that because I think for example the brony community has the stigma attached that we're all over the age of 30, we all have beards, we all sit in our basements and we all masturbate to My Little Pony, and that's not true. I'm sorry. There's some people who do that,
3 out of 4.
but no.
3 out of 4,
It
Jonathan.
huh?
3 out of 4, Jonathan. 3 out of 4.
I'm I'm glad to be a four, but um, it's
Wait,
weird,
that
and
doesn't
honestly, I
necessarily
think
mean you're
that's
not.
no. I'm actually quite glad
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
don't.
four then.
No, for instance, the one exception could be number one, and the rule could be for two, three, and four.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm
why
saying.
I just alluded to it.
Don't ruin what I'm saying, Nick. I'm trying to be positive here. Um.
I live on the main floor, damn it.
Anyway, I think it's stuff like that that has okay. Uh, look at the furry community. There is a stigma attached to them. Oh, it's all about sex. The people I know who dress up in costumes don't do it for sex. I have one friend who every Friday, she has made a deal with her job. She works at a grocery store, and every Friday she can go to school, go to work dressed up in her outfit, like her persona, and that's neat. Her job has embraced it because every Friday she can do that, and then they tacked on something, to try and get more people into the store. She's there. She'll walk around and talk to kids and take pictures. So she's getting to be, you know, for one day at work and get paid to do something that she likes to do.
Well, the
And
difference between the furry community and other things is like it isn't about sex. It's about embracing who they really are. I mean, these people identify as these different creatures and they call themselves otherkin. And I mean, that's a culture all in itself, and people have to kind of learn to embrace it and accept it. Like you will see a lot of furry porn. You will see a lot of it. But like the main idea of furries is to like embrace the thought that we are more than just human.
Yeah, I've seen some things.
Oh, I have seen some things.
and that
I am a former webcomic artist for a fur comic, well, an anthropomorphic comic that furries happen to like. I have been commissioned to draw some things. I won't say I'm not proud of them because I always do my best, but I have been asked to draw, create certain things that have turned my head several times, and I literally spit take had a spit take once over a commission request. But kudos to them. And frankly, they paid me well enough that it was totally worth having to, like, redo the protective cover on my laptop screen.
Yeah.
Horrifying mental image now. But, like, see, I think a whole part of this is, for me, for years I've wanted, to go to a convention. Like, even if it's just some local thing. But I'm one of the people who likes Halloween. And Halloween is the time of year when I will take a costume idea and I'll do it. I don't give a shit what it is. I may not look the best, but I'll do it. And I've always been afraid of going out anywhere that wasn't a day on Halloween or was not for a specific reason, dressed up as something, because I'm afraid of the backlash. And it worries me that, with cosplay being a popular thing and with, geek culture being in now, why are people still being picked on for doing it? I mean, is it really a bad thing to enjoy doing something that now, you have to be made fun of, you have to be mocked, particularly on the internet?
Well,
The internet mocks everyone, however.
well, Jonathan just mocked me earlier at the beginning of the show for liking sports.
And midway through. For liking man horses.
It's just a cool ass costume, damn it.
There's no shame in that, Nick. No shame. Embrace the man horse.
I
would.
be the man horse.
Ride your Ren horse, Nick. Ride him all the way to the football game.
No, I want to actually be the man horse. It's not be with the man horse. Context, John. Context wording.
I believe phrasing's a thing here.
It is.
Awkward silence.
It does bring me to the last point I got about embracing it and turning into something you enjoy. An evolution from the cosplay community and, hybridization with the burlesque community is something that has become endearingly titled as nerdlesque. Now, has anybody other than me seen anything about this stuff?
I don't even know what that is. Sounds cool, though.
I have no idea.
Burlesque.
I'm interested.
We all know burlesque, correct? It's like a classy form of, disrobement. It's, where stripping came from when
a
stripping was
Bridezilla
still...
episode where a woman wanted burlesque as the theme for her wedding. That was very interesting.
I'll pretend I know what you're talking about. That way, someone else can say yes. But in reality, you're probably going to be educating me too.
Do you know how, like, in, like, olden times, women wore, like, really poofy dresses with, like, the really tight bodices and, like, things that really, like, sharpened how the curves in their waist and then, like, really pushed up their breasts and made them, like, really, really sexy?
I'm talking about sexy things.
Well, and then they take those clothes off real slow and sexy and they dance.
I do like the
Sting and...
Dance
Well,
and sing.
you see, what comes about from burlesque, this old form of... burlesque is broadly any sort of entertainment that has some sexual appeal. You don't even have to take off clothes in burlesque. It's a common practice, but not necessarily definitively what has to happen. And what's been happening in nerd culture lately is there's a lot of girls who have been getting into burlesque, and they're also really geeky, so they do these interesting burlesque acts, say dressed up as their favorite character. I have seen some pretty interesting Mario ones, or heck, I even saw one, a friend of mine linked it to me, of someone doing a Napoleon Dynamite burlesque. They incorporated, she dressed up as Napoleon and did pretty much the exact same dance as at the end of the film, but she also lost clothing. And this has become popular
you
enough
need to
that it's
send that
warranted.
to me.
I
I
also
will
want to
have
watch.
to dig it up.
You will have to find that for me.
But
I want to watch.
Nerdlesque, there's actually a group based out of New York, I believe, that does Nerdlesque. There's another group that I follow that I have actually talked with a couple of the performers. It's the Black Butler drag show and cabaret. A bunch of female cosplayers who really like the show Black Butler. I don't know if any of you have watched it. Pause for response.
I'm guessing the silence means no.
I've heard of it, but I don't really remember anything about it.
I
It's
kind of know
very-
about it, but I haven't watched it.
It's a very pretty boy male-oriented anime, and it leaves a lot to the imagination amongst sexual tension in the show. So thus, people obviously, like everything else, they start shipping male combinations. These folks are taking it one step further and turned it into a complete drag show. These girls, they dress up as the main characters and do some pretty interesting burlesque drag pieces. The main characters disrobe and they progress a general story. They've been doing it for 2 or 3 years now. They're even working on a new set, even a newer set now. I think they're on their basically third episode of things. But these people get resounding intrigue. They were just at, about a month or so ago, they were at MetroCon, which is Florida or something. I'm not really good with where these things are, but I know it's in the States somewhere. But,
So many things, interesting things that are worth seeing at least once.
oh yeah, this one's worth seeing at least twice. I've seen snippets of their shows on YouTube, and I fully intend on trying to see them live at some point, because it is just astounding. They actually even... It started out as a non-profit thing, something that they just did. They were able to manage to convince the community to give them a panel at a convention. And now it's to the point where people donate money and get this stuff arranged and organized. And heck, Phelan LePage, the one who plays the main character in the show, CL Phantom Hive, she was doing a crossplay, and she was doing her strip routine, and she was actually having audience members were stuffing bills in her shorts.
Wow.
You can tell you're doing something right when people are giving you money. It's either you are entertaining enough that they want to pay you for such entertainment, or you're shocking enough and they're paying you to get off the stage. So either way, you're getting paid.
Yep. Oh, that actually brings up something I wanted to talk about too. One of the issues I've noticed about the cosplay community is cross-gender cosplays, and I personally think it's really cool. And one of my favorite cosplayers, Nicole Marie Jean, she does some really amazing cosplays as pretty much male characters. And like I love looking at them and seeing what she does with them. And I just wanted to ask your guys' opinion about it.
Oh, I am all for crossplay. It's something I've done for a very long time. Back when I was doing conventions, I attended a convention in 2001, 2002, Edmonton Comic Con. I was Dante from the Devil May Cry series. I've done a Link costume, but that was for a boyfriend, and he really wanted to dress up as Zelda, so we just went with the whole shtick.
Like, I mean, I really like the idea. I'm not sure that I would ever see myself dressing up as a female character necessarily, unless just kind of ironically like the male Sailor Scouts that you see sometimes. Like I think that would be really funny, kind of hilarious to do. But for a serious cosplay, I don't think I could ever do it personally, just because I don't think I could pull off the character very well. But they're really, really cool and really, really interesting. Or I read Doom Kitty's Doctor Doom, like we talked about her before. So I just think it's another really interesting part of cosplay to me.
I'm totally down with cross-gender cosplaying, and I would totally do it myself. If I was going to be a male, I'd probably either be Vegeta, or I would do one of the doctors.
Vegeta?
Vegeta! Hell yeah, I love Vegeta. He's my favorite from Dragon Ball Z.
Wow, I did not expect that.
I love Vegeta. There's so many problems with him, but he goes from being the villain to the anti-hero, and he's a good guy. He's just an asshole. So good. I love him. And he dies so much, and it's really funny. I'm a bad person, I'm sorry.
Clearly.
I'm a bad person.
I think one of the
On the
best
subject,
cosplays I've ever seen. I do not remember this man's name, but it was several years ago, around 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. Anyway, it was a man who went to multiple conventions dressed up as Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop. It was the greatest thing I have ever seen someone do ever. Because one, the costume was amazing. Two, if he were to shave, he would look exactly like she does in the show.
Sounds interesting.
I'm actually going to try and find it. And actually, you know what? If I can find it, I'm going to make it the um. I just forgot the word I was thinking of. The picture that displays for the video whenever you like.
Thumbnail.
Think of the word.
Thumbnail.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna try and find it and make that be the thumbnail because it's amazing. Really, I mean, he looks really good as Faye.
Do we have the rights to do that?
You can put whatever you want as your thumbnail.
Are you sure?
I've been on YouTube a long time. Yeah.
Danny is the YouTube master. Or is she master of the YouTubes?
I only have 300 subscribers on my channel. I wouldn't call me a master.
That doesn't mean anything. You could be secretly a master.
I could
Like
be.
like in the shadows.
I am a shadowy master of things, and then some things.
Like Lixie is a master of things.
Well, I mean, I do have one video on YouTube that's got 30,000 views.
That's pretty nifty.
That is pretty nifty.
That was totally needed.
Thank you.
Okay, found the picture.
I want to give you a hug for that. Show us what it looks like.
If you want to see him,
Just-
go to Google and look up Man Faye, man-Faye, and that's him. The only real issue is that he has a very, very hairy ass.
What? I'm sorry, you want to run that by me again?
his past, his
Ditto.
hair.
Okay.
Huh. Wow.
Other than that, he looks good.
Yeah, he outdoes Faye.
Only we can go from cosplay to YouTube to a very pretty horsey man to a hairy man's ass.
He outdoes Faye in those shorts. I'm just saying.
I am not sure what I'm looking at or looking for. I don't think I want to.
I think at this point it's just best not to.
I found it. It is. You don't want to. You do not want to.
You're gonna have to link. You're gonna have to link it to me, Nick. I can't now not look. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to open it up again and look again.
And link it to me too.
Why must you people
I can't
do
not
this?
know. I really can't not know. It hurts me physically to not know.
I told you, Man Faye. Do you not remember Man Faye from a few years ago?
Manfei?
Yeah, the man who went to several conventions dressed up as Faye Valentine. And he does a really good job, except for he's incredibly hairy.
Nick, link.
I'm doing it. Hold your horses.
I can't.
Hold your
They're
man
very
horses.
masculine.
Yes, hold them.
I can't contain
They're
that.
very manly and greased.
Oh my lord. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Waiting, Nick.
I just sent it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yep. I sent you the best one.
Okay.
Don't deny it. That's a good costume.
Oh no, yeah, that's a great costume, but wow.
That is
That's a serious wedgie.
That's a deliberate wedgie, Nick.
It's still a
I
serious wedgie.
don't know how that's supposed to make me feel.
He's embracing what he loves. He likes Cowboy Bebop, and
Yeah.
Faye is his favorite character. So
More power to him.
I know.
Mm-hmm. We're still
Oh
confused.
yeah. Yeah, that does give me strange feelings. Partially like I want to wax him, but
So that's what you're into.
waxing?
Yes.
Waxing people? No, I actually really don't like touching people.
I think
But-
throughout the length of this podcast, we have all learned each other's secret fetishes, and I think that makes us really close friends now.
We are.
I
Don't know if you guys actually have found out my secret fetishes.
It's waxing
You may
men.
have found one.
Well,
No.
I already know some of them, so.
Well, I know one of them is throwing shoes at people. So
No, that's just what I do when you're frustrating me.
That's
Yeah.
I'll throw
not.
my
It's
shoes.
not a fetish. It's a lifestyle choice. Get it right, John.
That's what everyone does around you, John.
It's
Pretty
just what
much.
clowns do. We throw our shoes. We throw our shoes because that's where we keep our brains, and when we're mad, we don't want to have to think. We just want to get angry at you and beat you to death with a rubber chicken.
I can say that on more than one occasion I've wanted to hit you with a shoe, John.
I want to hit you with a shoe every hour. Every half hour.
Every half hour. That is exhausting.
hooray! And also, you would run out of shoes. Like you would throw it, and what if you missed? You'd have to go get it. So that's wasting some of your time between throws.
No. See, my great grandmother. She was an excellent shoe thrower because that's how she would discipline her children sometimes. So
Catch, bitch!
it runs in my family, so we can throw it like a boomerang.
That's fucking.
I would just put it on a bungee.
Or
Do you
you
know-
could do
throw
it
in
like
the-
that one guy who attached it to a fishing line, or a ball to a fishing line.
Oh, yeah. I would probably try for the whole boomeranging, like Captain Boomerang. He can throw anything, and have it bounce back.
Do you know who the best shoe thrower is in the world? And this is going to be it because we are at about the hour mark right now. So
But I have a surprise for you, Jonathan.
the best shoe thrower in the world is the angry man who threw it at George W. Bush.
Wouldn't you
That's
say he's the
fair.
worst shoe thrower in the world because our ninja of an ex-president dodged those shoes?
Well, no, because he's actually a ninja. You can't hit a ninja.
I suppose. He dodged both shoes, too, not just one. He's like, no, no.
It actually was really impressive dodging skills, but well, see, here's the thing. I think he may be some kind of savant because we're talking about a man who tried to pull open a door you're supposed to push.
And he ran our country for 8 years.
Maybe some kind of savant. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
happy birthday, America. We're trashing
There's-
one of your favorite presidents. I don't know why he's a favorite.
Favorite? Is that real? Serious?
I voted for him twice. I don't know why the fuck I did.
I was too young to
Glutton
vote
for
for
punishment?
him.
I didn't
Oh,
really.
I remember when he came. I still remember when he came to Canada for a visit, and he's like, "I would like to thank everybody coming out and waving, with all 5 fingers even." That was actually the best thing. A lot of us Canadians were flipping him off, and yeah, he actually made a good zinger. I was actually kind of impressed.
He's
I don't think he's a bad person.
Obama is at the one-liners. I mean, just Obama has a whip-like intellect when it comes to responding to shit people say to him.
Obama
Yeah,
is
there
a
was that
master
heckler
troll.
at the White House dinner a couple nights ago, and he went ham on that guy.
Obama is a
Yes, that
master
that
troll.
was beautiful.
Not so much.
Well, he's
The
a good troll.
hecklers, well, one of the hecklers Obama had was actually a transgender woman who was trying to bring awareness to the whole situation. So I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not Obama did so great, because it was kind of very one-sidedly dismissed.
Well, I just
Okay.
don't think it was a good place to bring it up.
I actually hadn't seen anywhere what the heckler was trying to say. Just someone started screaming at him in the middle of the speech, and he's like, "Hey, you're in my house. You need to calm down. This is not the time. I'm not going to react to you if you're screaming at me." That's really
Yeah.
all I think anyone knew. Like, that's honestly the first time I've heard anything about the individual who was doing it.
Well, I mean, because you don't want to really focus on the individual because they're being disruptive and rude. Like, it doesn't really matter what gender they are or what they identify as, they're being rude.
It was a rude thing to do.
I mean, you may not like the president, but it doesn't mean you have to be an asshole to him. Like, just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you have to go out of your way to be mean to them. The best thing you can do if you don't like somebody is to just ignore them.
Well, sometimes.
That works sometimes.
No,
Yeah,
all the time. But
We do it.
anyways, what was I gonna say? Damn it, I lost my train of thought.
You're surprised. You said you had a surprise for me, so we'll
Oh, yeah.
let the surprise
Yeah.
for the last time.
Lexi,
Though.
do you remember our match?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Where-
our Hearthstone match
Yeah,
where I shit kicked you.
yeah, you did. So, John, what you want to know how you're bragging about that?
You mean the fake Hearthstone match where you let her win?
Well, see, the thing is, you believed us.
No,
You did.
You did.
that's why.
You
That's why I
did.
even said, assuming you faked it.
No, you believed us. It was later on that you started to assume it was fake.
Once the hamster got up and into the wheel that is your brain, is when you're like, wait a second.
No, actually, I realized it first off because that was the first time I ever
And
seen
now
it.
he's being defensive. He's like, no, I knew the whole time, guys. No.
I did.
No,
Oh,
he didn't.
That was the first
oh,
time I had ever
guys.
seen you playing
You
Hearthstone.
guys going all up in a
Me,
tizzy.
Someone
first
who's
time
been
me playing
since it was in beta testing.
alpha testing, asshole. Thank you very much. And thank you, my lovely friend at Blizzard. I was actually gold ranked in beta and such.
You got told,
So yeah,
bitch.
it's not too hard to believe that I could kick the shit out of Nick. The only thing that limits me is the fact that I have shit for cards because I haven't played since beta.
Yep.
Which is what I'm saying.
You,
That's
however,
you
have had copious amounts of time. You have unlocked both BlackRock and Naxxramas, has gotten cards from there, have had countless amounts of play hours, and a pretty extensive deck. And Nick still shit stomped you 3 for 3. Actually, no, because there was 5 for 5 because you got to use your own hunter deck. And then you rush Nick along while he's trying to rebuild his paladin deck. And even with a rushed rebuild, he still beat you, honey. He still beat you.
The lesson here is stop taking screenshots of me losing, quote unquote.
It was inappropriate, bro. Inappropriate.
And that's where we end the show.
Pathetic, manly weeping.
We'll see you all next week.
And that's how a clown should leave things. Yes. It was a pleasure to be on here.
I'll give you a hug, Sean. Don't worry. It's okay.
He hugs.
Oh, he's not talking to y'all now. The host of the show is gone, guys.
Wow, we have shut him up. I'm probably never coming back.
I don't think I'm getting invited back.
He's gonna kick us all off now.
Oh yeah, he is. I don't think he's gonna invite any of us back.
No.
It's okay, we'll start our own podcast.
We will start our own podcast, and I'll live stream it.
Ooh.
Blackjack and hookers.
Yes!
Wait, what?
And stripper clowns.
Blackjack and hooker. And
What?
hi.
I'm kind of scared.
I'm not scared. I'm looking quite forward to this.
I'm both scared and excited. I want to see this.
Okay, well, I think we should all get off of here so Jonathan can scream in private.
Well, that was the show, everybody. Have a happy 4th of July. Does anyone have any closing comments left?
Oh no, where did he go? John,
Does anyone have
Maybe he
any closing
disconnected?
comments?
did he disconnect?
Oh.
I'm hoping so. I'm Canadian, so I'm kind of feeling bad here.
Whoops, internet. That's what happens when you burn a friend too hard.
Yeah, apparently. Well,
Wait, can we even end the show?
that's a terrifying question. Wow, this got awkward real quick.
I don't think any of us have control of the call, so I don't think any of us can end the show. Does anyone have control?
I don't.
I can hang up.
I
can hang up too, but I don't want to.
I can also hang up, but I don't know what that would do. Would that just automatically end it?
I'm confused.
Yeah.
So. we're having technical difficulties.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it's technical difficulties. I would say we pissed off somebody, and now he's all in troubles.
Well, does anyone have John's phone number?
I do.
Can you call him to make
Yeah.
sure he's still alive?
Yeah.
We shall wait. So hi, Lexi.
Hi.
I don't know if he'll
Like
respond.
7 kinds of awkward.
It
Let's see
really
if he'll
is.
respond.
Well, I would hope he answers the call.
It's me calling. He has to answer.
Yes. Oh wait, I have his phone number too. I think.
Oh, he's not answering?
Either that, or his internet really
Has been
did
forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Oh, come on.
He's
Elaborate
really,
voice message.
he's really pissed. Oh, Lord.
Is he?
Elaborate voice message. Leave it. Sorry.
Where did he go?
Um, um, this has never happened before, folks.
I
guess he'll just have to edit out the last bit after we leave if it keeps running. And
Except
by
Yeah.
bit, I mean possibly hours.
Yeah. I mean, you can cut out stuff on YouTube. You can edit it there. There's no problem. You can
Okay.
just cut out the end of it and slice it off, and it'll be fine. Okay, cool. So does anyone have any closing comments before we all leave the call? And yeah,
Awkwardly hope.
yeah.
hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a
When-
second. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to be mad if we have to redo this.
I would laugh
We shouldn't have to
really hard.
We really shouldn't have to redo it. He's gonna have to do some editing after. So.
Yeah.
God, I wonder what people are saying about this in the frigging
We've never
in the
been
YouTube
able-
comments.
Except we've never been able to
awkward.
edit the video. We don't know how to edit the video.
I can walk him through it.
We are failures at that.
I can walk him through it. But okay, so
Okay,
for reals now.
go
Any
check out
closing comments?
Bye guys.
Yeah. Oh shit, I'm gonna get a bad feedback here possibly because I'm like watching us live now. So,
Cosplay is neat. Don't be sexist.
Yes, what Danny said.
yeah, don't be a Cryannosaurus Rex if you're losing